So, as you can see by the title, today Chris asked me to talk specifically about kind of do a deeper dive into website design and specifically what you need on your homepage. And kind of we'll talk about the layout and I'll show you lots of examples. So, just to introduce myself, I'm a web designer and brand designer. My name is Janelle. I also am a former middle school teacher. So I taught middle school language arts for 16 years, and about 2 years ago, I left the classroom and started doing this full time. So if any of you are, sounds like Heather, you are at least like building a side business on top of your full-time teaching, I have totally been there and understand what all of that is like. So kind of like built my business as a side hustle before going full time. As a teacher, I was the very like overachiever teacher. I always wanted to find all the fun things on TPT to make my classroom more exciting and make things more fun for my students. So I appreciate what all of you are doing and putting out there to help teachers in classrooms. So let's see, I have to move your faces there. Okay. So today I want to help you understand what people are looking for when they land on a website. The thing about websites is the way that people use websites, it hasn't changed. Like we have all of this data now. People tend to do the same things. We can see what's called like a heat map of like how much time they spend on each section. So we've really been able to kind of reverse engineer and think about things like psychology of how people navigate through websites and then use that to figure out how can we communicate the most clearly, especially on a homepage, in order to guide people to take the next step that we want them to take. So that is something that I really love learning more about and reading more about, like the psychology of web design and user experience. So I'm excited to share some of that today. Agenda, I'll share a quick story. I'll go through what you should have on your homepage, just like top to bottom, section by section, and show you some live examples. And then at the end, we can have questions. Does that all sound good? And it's a small group, so feel free, like unmute. You can interrupt me if you think of something and you want to ask in the moment. Totally cool with that too. Okay, so this is my quick story. This is a photo of my home office right at the beginning of the school year. This was about 5 years ago, and I had just gotten my dream teaching job. I had been at one district for most of my career, and then I got into it was like the best district in my area, and I was so excited. It was back to school time, so I was just prepping like crazy, right? So I really wanted to make a great first impression. I was excited, but also very overwhelmed. I had 4 preps, and 3 of them were brand new to me. So I had inherited all of this stuff from the teacher that I was replacing, and then I was finding all of my own things on Pinterest and TPT. So I had, you can see like my laminator, like coffee cups, just stuff everywhere. So my home office was just a disaster. So I see a lot of website homepages that are actually like this. So I think sometimes it can be that you're not quite sure like what to put on your homepage and you're excited and you want to tell everybody everything because you have these great products, these great solutions, like you really want to help other teachers. And so it can be like, I don't know what to put, and so I'm just going to put it all, or maybe you're not sure what to put where. And then I also, a lot of the clients that I work with have been in business for like 5 years, 10 years. And what tends to happen with a website is it tends to just like grow and grow and grow and get bigger. So sometimes people just keep adding things as their business grows or they have new offers or new things without subtracting anything. So things kind of get big and messy over the years. So either way, you end up with like just too much information. There isn't a clear direction. You're trying to say everything. You have some random sections. And then the result is that people then they don't know what to focus on and they don't know what is the next step that they should take in working with you. And that's really what we need to do. What good design does is to clearly communicate this is what's important and then this is the next step that we would love for you to take. So again, we'll just go top to bottom. When people think about design, you think about maybe things like decorations and colors and fonts. But again, I see my role as a designer as a communicator, and I found that with my background in language arts, it's been a really good fit and something that I love. So, all right, top to bottom. As I go through each of the sections that you'll need on your homepage, I'm going to be showing you examples from these two websites. They're both live so that you can see it live and kind of like get ideas for your website. One is movemountainsinkindergarten.com. Kayla Hare, she creates kindergarten resources and she's amazing. She's launching a big summit in July. And then Dr. Jan Smith, I believe she is in your group. I think I've seen her name in your group. And she creates awesome elementary and middle school, mostly science and also math resources. So I had the opportunity to work with both of them to redesign their websites, and I'll be kind of sharing those as examples. So starting from the top, the first thing is the navigation. So this is your header, your menu bar at the very top. Something that I see a lot is that people put too much stuff up here, or that the menu, the item names are too long, or they kind of try to be clever. So you want to keep it to maybe between 4 and 6 is typically plenty. If you have more than that, then you want to do a drop down and you want to nest those menu items underneath just to keep it really nice and clear. You don't want to have like double stacking menu bars. So the labels should be kind of as short and sweet as you can. So like shop, about, freebies, those are great. Typically on your navigation bar, you're also going to have your logo, and users expect that your logo is going to link back to your home page. So you can also have home as one of your links in your navigation, but you also want to have your logo linked to your home page. That's just something that people expect with modern websites, and so they'll try and click on that to go back to the home page. And then the other thing I see a lot, and I think I mentioned this last time, is people want to put all their social media icons up top. You don't want to put those up top. You want to put those at the very bottom in your footer. The goal of your social media should be usually is to drive traffic to your website. You don't want your website to drive people to your social media, because once people are on social media, then they're likely to just get distracted by other things or watch funny videos for 2 hours. You want your social media to entice them to come to your website, and then that's where we're going to guide them to, get your freebie or purchase something from you or take the next step in working with you. So your top of your website is prime real estate, so don't put your social media icons up there. They are better at the bottom. So when things are simple, they're not confusing. When people are not confused, they're going to stay on your website and continue. It's going to help them take action. And so I'll show you those couple of examples. So this is Dr. Jan's here. Super simple menu, right? We've got home, about, the logo, and then blog and shop. So it's really clear what the options are here. And then this, if we say I'm on the blog page, if I click on her logo, it takes me back to the home page, which is what users expect. And then for Kayla, so she's doing a promo right now with that. So that's an announcement bar at the top. And then this is her main menu, blog, membership, workshops. This is the login for her current members. And then she does have many different ways that people can shop. So we did a drop down. So we can choose either to shop here, to go to her TPT store, or on Etsy, or she has an Amazon storefront. So nice and clean and simple, starting with the navigation at the top, no social media icons. All right, the next section down is called your hero section. Have you guys ever heard that term before, the hero section? Lynette has, the rest of you not really? Okay, so this section is answering the question, am I in the right place? And if the home page is the most important page on your website, this very first section is the most important section. So within 3 seconds, somebody needs to know, what do you offer? Who is it for? Am I in the right place? Is this for me? So the way you do that, you need 3 things in your hero section. You want to have a clear headline. You want to have just some short supporting text. And then underneath that, you want to have a button. I see a lot of people that are missing the button. The button is like the main call to action that you want them to take. So if you're selling products, usually that's going to be like shop resources or shop bestsellers or shop now. So there's something called the caveman test, and this is from a book called Story Brand by Donald Miller. And so he said he kind of coined this term and it got popular that your hero section needs to pass the caveman test. So if you imagine a caveman gets on your website, it has to be so clear and simple. This is what I do, this is who I help. I click this button to get this thing. So you can actually, if you, those of you that have a website, you can take a screenshot of your first section and you can put it in something like ChatGPT and you can ask it, does this pass the caveman test? And it'll give you some feedback to make your hero section even better. So this is important because visitors are going to just, they need to decide really quickly if they're on the right site or not. And if they're confused, they are going to leave. Your hero section sets the tone for the entire website. And again, you just want them to instantly understand what you offer and who you help. So let's look at Jan's here. So this whole first kind of row here is her hero section. So she has this benefit-driven headline, confidently teach science your students will love. And then her supporting text says, engaging NGSS-aligned science and math resources to help you save time and teach with confidence. And then we've got the button to shop the resources. And then Move Mountains in Kindergarten. Nice big headline. It's for kindergarten teachers who want to feel calm, prepared, and confident. And she offers simple systems, classroom tested resources, and real support to bring the fun back into teaching and learning. And then we have the button to shop teacher resources. So same format, big headline, a little bit of subtext, and that button. This is the most proven, best way to lay out that first section of your website. Okay, so after that hero section, what some people want to do is jump right into what they offer. But before you jump into what you offer, you need to do what's called the problem section, which is where you are empathizing with the person who is on your website. So the problem section answers the question, do you understand me? So this is where you're like, I know you have these frustrations. I understand these pain points. You want to try to use the language that your audience actually uses. You know, if it's informal, use informal language. You want it to be short and skimmable. That's going to be true for everything on your website. And you need to show empathy before you offer your solutions. So the reason behind this is that people make decisions emotionally before logically. So they'll make the emotional decision first that, oh, I really like this person, I want to work with them. And then they look for logical reasons to support that emotional decision that they've already made that they want to work with you. So this is a really important place where we are making sure that they feel understood. You want to create a feeling where they feel like, oh, that's me, like she knows exactly what I'm going through. And we want to start appealing to their emotions. So on Jan's Math and Science website, this white section right here, this is our problem section. So we have the headline talking about, I know you can feel anxious teaching science. It can feel overwhelming. She's explaining how, your time is short, maybe your confidence is low, like you're overwhelmed. Teachers feel like they're just piecing lessons all together on their own, and then you get discouraged. So a really nice empathetic problem section. And then with Kayla's, she wanted to do something a little bit more unique and fun. And so we did this like teacher bingo card. Can you relate? So we've got like, I feel like I'm constantly behind. I love my job, but I'm exhausted. I want to enjoy my life outside of teaching. And then we have a little bingo language there. And then also some statistics reassuring them like you are not alone. Like teachers everywhere are feeling this way, burned out, job-related stress, and more likely to leave the profession. So this whole section here with the white background is our empathy problem section on this site. Okay, so now that people know I'm in the right place, ooh, and this person really understands me. So then after that, this is where you get to come in. So this next section is called the guide section because you are there to guide them to the solution. In this section, you want to answer the question, why should they trust you? So this is has just a few simple components. It's really lovely to have a photo of yourself. I talked about that a lot last time, why that's important. So a photo of you, just a little bit of background info. You want to keep it short. You do not tell your entire life story on the homepage. Some people like to get a lot more in depth with their background story. Put that on the about page and you can link to it from here. But on the homepage about section, just keep it short. Tell them a little bit about your background and your approach, and you want it to be, of course, really warm and personable. So this helps your audience start to trust you. They start to feel more connected and more confident. And there's AI everywhere now, right? Like Heather's about to found an AI school. So humans, we want to connect with other humans. And when we're selling something online, it's different than in person. You meet someone in person, you have that warmth, you talk with them, you have some back and forth, and you're building that trust. This is a section that helps to kind of build that trust when it's a website to let them know, hey, I'm a human, I'm on the other side of this, and I have maybe been in your shoes. So for that guide section, this is Jan's nice photo. Meet Dr. Jan, a little bit about her background and experience, and then this does link to her about page to learn more. And then this is Kayla's section. She is still in the classroom, so she's saying, hey, I am right there with you. I'm still teaching. These are the things that I struggle with. And then we did this cute little confetti moment about like wanting to have more fun in your classroom. Okay, so now after you've introduced yourself, the next section is finally, so this is section 5, and now we're finally introducing how you can help them. So, what is your solution? And importantly, what are the benefits that people are going to get when they use your solution? So, this is where we get to outline the like happily ever after. We get to paint the picture of this is how great you're going to feel after you use these things. So here you want to focus on the results that your audience wants to get. So you don't just want to tell them what something is, you want to tell them what it's going to help them do. So the benefits of your resources, this is a good place to use bullet points that are short and easy to skim. You can include some nice visuals that show like, oh, these people are so happy with these results. And this is all because people don't want to buy a product. They want to invest in something that's going to give them the outcome that they're hoping to have. So this helps them to picture that success and, strengthen that emotional connection. So we did this in 2 sections on Jan's. So this first section here, we have this teacher who looks calm and collected, and she's smiling and she's looking at her laptop. We've got bullet points. This is how easy it is. You're going to pick your resource, you're going to explore the teacher pages, and then you get to bring science to life in your classroom. And then we did this additional kind of, then look at the benefits for your students. They're so excited. They're learning science outside. You get to tap into their natural curiosity and excitement. So this is that happily ever after the teacher and the students. With Kayla's, we did add this additional section here I'm going to skip over because she offers a lot of different things. So we did kind of an overview of here are the different ways that she can support teachers. And then this here is her benefit section. So this is all designed to get your time back. Bullet points, bullet points, bullet points. You're going to feel organized. You're going to walk in with a confident plan, and you're going to have more energy for your life outside of school. So after you've made all of these really big claims, this is where you need to give some proof. So this is where you're going to put your reviews, your testimonials. You have to answer the question, have you helped people like me? If you're just getting started and you don't have reviews and testimonials from customers yet, you can get them from each other. You can like test out your own products and things like that. You can use like screenshots of customer feedback, reviews from TPT. If possible, if you can use the person's photo and their name, that's a stronger testimonial than just the words. But even just the words is really still really powerful. You don't want these to be too long. So even if you have this long, amazing review and you're like, oh, this is exactly what I want everybody to read and to know about me and how wonderful my stuff is, People don't read big, long chunks of text on websites. So pick out the best part, give it a headline in bold or like bold some of the best parts to help like draw people's attention. And I'll show you an example of what that can look like. So you don't want to hide all of your, sometimes people do a testimonials page or like reviews page. You don't want to hide all of them on a separate page. You can also have a separate page if you have a ton, but you definitely need some on your homepage. So this helps. I don't have to explain why testimonials are important, right? We all know you've bought things on Amazon. You want to read the reviews and like make sure that other people agree with what this person is saying. So this is what Jan's look like. These were, I think we just took these from TPT. So, but notice that we did a headline at the top to call attention. So if someone is just skimming, they're still going to get the gist of the benefits of her resources. And then we have the person's name and just short little paragraph. And then for Kayla's, we did this fun little animation with these kind of pop-up blurbs, again with these headlines that are super skimmable. Oops, that's my computer telling me to take a break. So, social proof. Now, if you do have a freebie to get on your mailing list, I would put it in this section. So after your social proof, the freebie opt-in before our final section, which will be the call to action section next. If you don't have one yet, that's okay. But if you do, this is where I would put it. So then the last section is that final call to action. So this answers the question, what do I do next? So we've told them like, this is what I offer. This is what I'm all about and how I can help you. I understand your problem. Here's a little bit about my background. These are the amazing solutions and benefits like you're going to feel after we work together. Here's proof that I've helped other people just like you. And now if you're ready, here is the next step to take. So you don't want your website to just like end. You don't want them to have to go all the way back up to the top to click to like go to your shop or to go to your blog or whatever your main call to action is on your website that you're hoping to have your visitors do. You want to give them that final step again in this very last section. This last section is almost like a mirror to your hero section. So it's going to have like the same call to action, the same core message. So think of it like a mirror. So just clear next step, that button, short encouraging copy should be really clean and uncluttered. And yeah, you don't want to leave them hanging. And this is another thing, again, we have all this data. This is proven to increase conversions and to keep people like moving forward and taking the next step on your website. So this is always the section that I end with. So here you can see Jan's little freebie for her newsletter. And then this final call to action section. Ready to bring hands-on science into your classroom, a little bit of text, and then explore the resources, which takes you to her shop. And then for Kayla's, so we have some of her products featured here before her freebie email opt-in. And then this is her final call to action section here. So ready to enjoy your evenings, get your weekends back. Same call to action, explore resources that goes to her shop. So that is really these are the basics that every homepage should need. Every site that I design, and it doesn't matter if someone's selling a product or they're selling a service, these are always the sections that I want to make sure that they have. So if you have these pieces, you are way ahead of the game. I've analyzed hundreds of websites and a lot of them are missing some of these. You also don't want to fiddle with the order too much. Like you don't want to have the problem section way down at the bottom. Like that's important. The order is also important so that we're kind of like walking them through this, this journey here. Before we get to Q&A, I wanted to share how we can work together if you're interested. It's not for everyone, and that is totally okay. But if you are ready to have somebody take over your website and walk you through all of this and get it in the hands of a professional to get it all just done for you, I would love to help. So I offer a fully done for you process. If you need brand design, we would start there. So I do logo design, color palettes, fonts, all of that fun stuff. I would help you decide on a freebie that you can offer and get a mailing list set up if that's part of your goals. I do the website text for you so that you can then just kind of give feedback and make revisions and tweaks, but so that you don't have to come up with all of that from scratch. And then, of course, building out the website. So I also love the copywriting part as a former English teacher, so I still get to do a lot of writing in my job now. And if that is something that you're ready for, I would love for you to visit me on my website. It's hellojanellemarie.com. You can book a call and we can chat some more. If you already have a website, for most of my clients, the first step that we would do is what's called a brand blueprint. And if you mention that you are in Chris's group, I'm doing $100 off for you guys off of that not bland. It'll not be bland, it'll be super fun. Your brand blueprint. And I have a couple spots off for July and August at the moment. So if you were hoping to have a website revamp for the summer or for the fall.